there was a couple other things. We heard about a couple items that I think are enforcement issues, enforcement of existing CDP conditions. One was with the rail and in Del Rey and requiring access to the beach there. And then also at San Onofre, it sounds like we have existing permit conditions that are not being fully complied with. So we just had a question there on enforcement and what staff's doing looking at those.
Thank you, Commissioner Nutthoff. I'll start with Del Mar and have some comments. Just wanted to thank for the members of the public for showing up today and for providing the letter that we received as well and have reviewed. And kind of sharing their concerns with the Del Mar Bluffs project and sharing their support for the public access improvements there. As just a brief background for those commissioners that may not have been on the commission at the time, we reviewed that project. When the commission approved the Del Mar Bluffs 5 project back in 2022, it required Sandag to offset the loss of beach area and access in 3 main ways. One was enhancement of this lateral north-south trail at the top of the bluffs. There's an existing trail there, and so the commission required it to be enhanced and extended. The second was establishment of a vertical access way from the top of the bluffs down to the beach. There are existing, kind of informal trails, and the commission's desire was to have something more formalized and accessible for the public. And then the third component was a safe crossing for the rail line, either an overcrossing or an undercrossing. So to prepare to implement these projects, Sandag's been carrying out a variety of studies and public outreach efforts for the past several years. These are complicated projects. It's a constrained area, and there's a lot of strong feelings about what's done where, as one can imagine. And so they've been taking this very kind of deliberate and approach to soliciting public feedback and proceeding cautiously. The intent of the work they've been doing is to help locate where the access improvements would be located, and then trying to find consensus among the city, North County Transit District, and the commission and the other regulatory agencies, and then obviously considering costs, resource impacts, maintenance challenges, and then community preferences. So back in March of 23, Sandag completed this coastal connections study that identified some design options and an alternatives analysis. That alternatives analysis, a draft of it, was completed last May. And we've been working really closely with Sandag and providing input all along the way as they've been developing those studies. These are complex projects, and there still are some challenges that need to be resolved. We have an extended meeting with a variety of agency staff scheduled for later this month to really kind of dive into some of those details. And the goal of that is really to try to make sure that we're on that timeline that the commission established, which is, I think, start work. We heard it from the comment this morning. Start work in 27, complete work in 29, and to make sure that we're on track for that. We expect that once there's a consensus reached around the how to implement these projects amongst the key agency stakeholders, then the designs and alternatives analysis report will be completed and provided for the public and public review and outreach, and then the environmental review will start as well. So depending on what actual designs get identified, it may also come back to this commission. When the commission approved the project in 2022, it kind of identified some options, but it also left the door open for some changes. And if there's changes are significant, it would need to come back before you all. So that could be as early as later this year. The last point I just raised quickly on this is because it was flagged in the comments this morning. Sandag has not requested an extension of those deadlines. The requirement did allow for that possibility, but Sandag is not seeking that. If they were to seek an extension, they would need to include with that request a detailed rationale and a breakdown of what can be accomplished within those timeframes and the specific steps that need to be taken to overcome whatever remaining challenges there are. So there's a lot to be accomplished, but given the close coordination we've had with Sandag to date, we're confident that these really necessary and important access improvements will be accomplished and hopefully within that timeline that Commission established.
Okay, thanks so much, Commissioner Wilson.